Hello everybody, welcome back to Familia Pablanu. I am the one and only Anu.
And I'm Pablo, just Pablo.
And today we are going to be talking about the long-awaited question that you guys have, and it's how we met. Let's go back memory lane. Here you go.
Mama Africa, your children are home!
It was the 7th week, and then I went to church.
When I finally got back, then I went back to another state, you know, where some of my family were living. So I went back there for like a week, and then I went back to Indiana.
I went to the small group, and there was a program they do. This time I think it was a fasting program. So we come to the small group to break our fast. We'll eat food and all that. It was after church. I think it was on a Sunday. So I was there with my friend, my best friend that time.
So when I went back to Indiana, there was another meeting of that church sort of thing with the youth group, whatever. And I was like, oh, and I saw on the email list, I saw her email there, and I was like, oh, because I recognized her name, and I was like, oh, huh, maybe they haven't taken her off yet, off the list, you know, she's probably already gone, but it gave me a little hope. So I went to that meeting.
It was us talking when we were going into that place. He's still not here, you know, and all that. I walked in and he was there. He was actually playing with some of the kids there.
Like I said, it was kind of a weird situation. The people there were kind of weird, very judgmental and whatnot. And so it was like keeping a conversation going with anyone was like pulling teeth. It was pretty awful. There just wasn't really any connection. I tried, you know, to converse with people, but it was just very surface level. No one really, I guess, trusted me. I don't know. It was just weird. And then she showed up with some other girls, and I was like, but then I tried to show that I didn't see her.
I told my friend, that's him over there. He's like, ah, okay, I see. So I was like, okay, play it cool. And apparently he saw me too, but he played it cool too.
It was at a person's house, and there was this big island in the kitchen, and so she came in to start getting food. And I was like, oh, let me get up and get a dessert.
And we came a little bit late, so people were already eating, and I went to the island, grabbed a plate, and I saw him grab a plate, stood up and grabbed a plate as well.
So I went on the other side of the island.
He grabbed a plate. He was coming from the opposite side, and me, I had my plate from this side. And we were walking, we grabbed food, and on my mind, I'm like, oh crap.
And it was kind of corny, but I went on the other side of the island, pretending not to see her until we were like right across from each other.
What's going on in the back of my mind? There was the butterfly effect happening. I was like, oh my gosh. And we got in the middle of the island. We were in front of each other. And I had my plate, he has his plate, and I looked up at him and I was like, oh, hi.
And then I looked up and she did too, and I was like, hey. She was like, hey.
How are you? How have you been? And then my mouth went blabbing. What took you so long? I've been waiting for you for And I
can't remember what she said, but she was basically like, hey, how are you? And where have you been? Something like that.
I was like, oh, no. I was just, what took you so long? So I stopped at that.
I was like, hey, I mean, you're still here, basically. And so we're like, oh, okay. And then we started talking and chatting and whatnot. And
then we got our food. We were very awkward. We were both almost shaking. I was having butterflies.
And basically we spent the entire rest of the time together.
So we went, got our plates, and we went to sit next to each other. And we were talking, just discussing things. Finished eating food, and then we watched a movie. I think there was a movie
that evening. And even we were watching a movie and stuff, you know, and I noticed everything about her.
But while we were talking, I didn't know that people were already looking at us and talking some gossips about that. I didn't know. I was just like so excited.
So like, you know, she sat next to me. We were chatting about the movie. It was a movie I had seen before, but she hadn't. It was like Chariots of Fire. And I remember all these details. And I remember, you know, what she was wearing. I remember, you know, what her legs looked like. Head over heels, I guess you could also say. And but yeah, it was an enjoyable time, and that's where we signed up for volunteer stuff. So there was a list where you're volunteering to like help out on campus, and like help people move in on campus, stuff like that.
I saw him stand up and go put his name down because they were announcing, okay, we have volunteer work. So I saw him get up, put his name, volunteer, put his name on like 2 or 3 events. And me, I've never volunteered before because I'm like, I have to go back to work. It's work for me. I didn't have any life after work, not really that much.
And so I signed up. I was one of the first people to sign up there. And then apparently later on, we signed up. She had also signed up for the same things.
He put his name down. I called my friend, my best friend, come, let's go put our name down. I saw his name, I put my name right next to his name, or is it on the lines? I put my name there, and my friend put her name there as well. I was like, okay, we're gonna go volunteer, okay? I realized that there were 2 leaders, 2 groups, one group here and one group here. I was standing next to him, and one of the group was saying, I know you come with me, Pablo, you go with him. They separated us right then. I was like, that was, wow, really?
If you remember, as I said, we signed up for volunteering, right? So when we got to campus and we were doing the volunteering thing, we were supposed to be, like, we came as a group, and I was working there for a while, and then she and her, Anu and her friend showed up as well, and later on. And when they showed up, there was this other guy, like youth leader or something guy. Anyways, so we were there together, it was like 4 of us, and he did something that was really funny to me, and annoying, is that he kind of was looking like this, and he's like, okay, basically, Pablo, you come with me, or no, what did he say? No, he said, basically, Anu, you come with me, and Pablo, you can go with this other girl, basically. And I was just like, well, bummer, I don't even know this girl, I don't even, I wanted to be with Anu, but I was like, okay, whatever. And so once we left that youth group thing, that first meeting, I realized yet again that I had not gotten her number.
Pablo still didn't get my phone number. So it was it a Friday or Saturday? It was maybe a Friday evening. I received an email from him.
I had not gotten any contact from her. So I was like, crud. But I did have her email now because I saw it on that list. So what did I do when I got home, like the next day? I tried to send her a message via email.
So he sent me an email, and he was saying, well, my parents are here in town visiting this weekend.
Then I was like, hey, so sorry I didn't get your number, but here's my number. But yeah, I just wanted to ask if you were interested in coming to the farmer's market with me and my family, because my mom and dad and some of my younger siblings were there visiting for like a few days.
So I was like, I don't know if I want to meet your parents, it's too soon for that.
And she was like her response, because she ended up finally texting me. I was like, yay, she's texting me.
It's like, so I sent him, and he said, oh, you can reach me with this phone number if that will be easier for you. And that's how he got my number. I sent him a message using the number I sent me through his email.
But she said, no, I can't because I'm busy. And she said why she was busy.
And I was like, I'm sorry, I would have loved to go. Not really. I was scared. But I will be, what's the word? I'm going to go slaughter some roosters. So I wouldn't be able to go with you. And it sounds like the lamest excuse.
I was like, what? Because I'm thinking, okay, this girl's like valley girl, like, you know, doesn't get her hands dirty, anything like that. So I didn't believe her at first. I was like, what are you talking about?
I had my friend, she's from China, so she loves, if there's any chance to get maybe fresh meat, she's all for that. And so we went together to my co-worker's house to go get a rooster and slaughter it. And I had to send a photo of this headless rooster to him.
Oh, she sent me photos of this rooster plucked. And I was just like, what?
He lives with his sister lives with him, and she was still in high school, so she takes care of they both take care of each other. So I was like, oh, that's nice, you know. And we got along very well at the beginning with the sister, so that was good.
And at the time, you know, that sort of a thing meant a lot to me, because I was like, wow, she's like gorgeous, she's, you know, beautiful, and yet she's also super intelligent, you know, like she's done her master's, she's done, you know, all these things. She's very quick-witted, but then she's also very, you know, capable. I know she hates this word, but very capable in other areas of life, you know, like survival and cooking and whatever, like.
And so he said, no problem, maybe we'll find some other time to get to know each other or to hang out. I was like, okay, sure.
Now we don't eat any meat, but at the time, you know, that was a big deal to me that she could do that. Anyways, it was just a big deal to me. And for the first time in my life, like I've never spoken to my mom about any woman ever. Like I was never like, oh hey, you know, there's this girl. No, but this was the first time where I was just texting with Anu, and I turned to my mom who was nearby. I was like, Mom, there's this amazing girl. I was like, I just met this amazing girl, and I told her all about her, and she was, oh, okay, kind of shocked because I had never done anything like that. But
so after that, we met after a church event, and he told me, would you and your friend over there like to go to maybe the lake with me?
So then there was another volunteering thing that we got together. It was like university clubs or something. So at that one, I got a chance to ask her out sort of again, and so I asked her if she would want to go to the lake with me and, you know, my sister or something, if she wanted to bring her friend, if she would feel more comfortable doing that.
My friend is busy, but I'm not. I'm like, why are you asking me to bring my friend? You like my friend or something? So because I was already thinking, hey, if he's gonna go, I know his sister is going to be there, so I won't be alone. But I said, oh, that's fine.
But she was like, no, she'll come alone. I was like, oh, great. So took her to the lake with me and my sister, and so we got to kind of spend a time like that. And she showed up, and she had kind of crop top and those sort of things, and very short shorts and everything. And I was just like, oh, okay. I mean, I also took off my shirt at some point. It was hot, you know. But anyways, so we had that time. It was fun. It was fun. You know, we got to flirt and everything, and it was nice. It was a nice time.
And then not too long after that, he was telling me that the church members were harassing him, basically asking questions from him, and I was like, why are they asking? Like, they are very confrontational.
Some of the people at this church, that same, was it youth leader or whatever that I was talking about, who separated us? So he contacted me and wanted to meet up for lunch at some point.
And one of the church members, my friend, the female ones, they already approached me and told me, be careful of this guy, there's red flags. Because I'm like, what kind of red flags? Like, well, it seems like he's interested in like international type of women. And I'm like, what? Okay, but I'll keep my eyes open. But
So he asked, the youth leader asked if he could also come, because he said, you know, he understands things deeply or something like that. He has clear understanding of things. I'm like, okay, whatever. So anyways, so we meet up for lunch, and they didn't even, I'm still kind of upset about this. The guy was like afraid to come in alone. He was waiting for the other guy to show up. So anyways, so I sit down, I'm waiting for them to order, I see them outside. I'm like, why aren't you coming in? Like, go on in. Finally, they come in. And I'm like, okay, let's order. And they're like, oh, we already ate. I'm like, well, I'm starving and I waited for you guys. So, okay, let me order. So I ordered something. I think at the time it was something very unhealthy, like a hamburger, a big old hamburger or something. Anyways, so here I was like trying to eat this, starving. And they basically wanted to meet just so they could lambast me and just say all this crap to me about, we think you're this kind of a person, da 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 da, you shouldn't be near, basically stay away from our women, is basically what it was in the end. It was very weird. I was just like, what the heck? She had a face where it was sort of news to her, but I think she also it seemed like she kind of expected things like this to happen. But anyways, so I just told her, I was like, hey, they were saying crap about you, they were saying crap about your dad, all this kind of stuff. I was like, it's just, I don't know, it doesn't seem like a good situation. I don't know.
So it became confrontational even with me, and he said they are confronting him as well. So.
But she, she heard it and she's like, okay, but from what she said, it was like, they've been really kind to her, she spent a lot of time with them, so she'll probably keep sticking around. I was like, okay, that's fine, but then after that, we got to chat about other stuff and about meeting again and stuff like that.
Everything there is there to separate us. And the more they did that, the more we stuck together.
And it's kind of interesting because even though they tried to separate us and then they really tried to separate us even more, even so, they actually, I think, are the ones that kind of pushed us together in a big way. So we actually ended up spending more time together. So I'd only known her maybe 2 weeks or so when all of this was going on. It was very fast. But and I can't remember the exact timing in here, but I think it might have been, I don't know if it was before or after I was confronted by those guys. But there was some point in there where Anu was just telling me, and this is kind of a separate issue, but she was telling me that she really wanted to go see her parents and whatnot, but it looked like she wasn't going to be able to see them for another year at least.
So I was asking some questions. Okay, give me your date of birth, your age and all that. I'm like, why are you asking all this detail? Like, no reason. And then the next day or so, he showed up and he's like, here's the ticket. There's Labor Day coming up. You don't have to miss work. You can just visit them and be back by work on Monday and all that. I was like, oh, wow. I was very touched. I was like, that's very kind. That's very kind of you. You don't even know me, because we just basically became friends for like just a few weeks there. And he did that. And I was like, oh, that really touched my heart.
I was, very happy to give her a ride, to the airport and all that kind of stuff, because give me more time to spend with her and get to know her and stuff. But yeah, so she got to see her family.
So I went home. I went to Louisiana and we visited my parents. I think I told my sister, but I didn't tell my parents. So I didn't tell them, but I told my sister, there's this guy. He actually bought my ticket with you, and it's like, it seemed really nice, and I think I like him. Told my sister that. So yeah, okay, but just be careful. I said, okay, I will be careful. So I came back. He got me at the airport. Then not too long after that, he started asking, so what's your father's phone number? I just wanted to store it in my phone. I'm like, you said, wait, what?
But yeah, at one point, very early on as well, maybe I'd known her, maybe she had just come back from seeing her family, but I think it was not long after that, I was, she was telling me about her dad and, how he's worried about her living alone up there and everything and not having any family close by.
I said, yeah, I want to contact him and let him know that you are in good hands, that if he's concerned about anything, he can always call me, and to know that you are in good company, that I'm a good guy and all that. I'm like, you said you want to be in contact with my father. Hey, Morogo.
And so, he was worried about her. I was like, huh. I was like, well, I'm here. I can, if there's an emergency, I can be an emergency contact. So I asked her for her dad's number.
That's not heard of. I'm not sure that's possible. I said, I'll think about it, but I don't know. I'm not giving you right now.
Like, hey, can I have his number? I want to talk to him, and just let him know, hey, I'm this guy. You don't know me, but I'm here. I met your daughter. She seems amazing. I just want to let you know I'm here. So if you need an emergency contact, if you need someone, to contact in case something goes on, if she needs help with anything, anything you need, I'm here. And that was a big change, big shift from how I used to be my whole life. This was kind of a new leaf for me. I was trying to think in a mature way because I hadn't been that mature my whole life, I guess, when it came to relationships and stuff like that. So for this case, I was like, hey, I just want to be emergency contact, and I don't even know whether or not we're gonna be a thing in the future, but I just wanted to to do that, so that way I was already on sort of speaking terms with her dad, so that way if something came about, if we got closer, that would already be in place. So he would already know me and be comfortable with me,
So I didn't give him my father's number, and that was the beginning of our drama with family.
I was like, listen, I'm just trying to say, if he's worried about you, it's good that he has a contact of someone in the same city. You know what I mean? I was like, please. But she wouldn't do it. She's like, And so that's kind of where the drama started, I guess you could say. Yeah, stay tuned. This is going to be a whole series. So we have a lot of different parts lined up because it's a long story. It's a very long story. But yeah, stay tuned for the next one.
Yep. Like, share, subscribe to our channel, Familia Pablanu, and see more of our vlogs. Live vicariously through us in the in the warmth of the Pearl of Africa. We'll bring you the next part coming soon.
Update your notifications, so
yes.
You can get each one of the parts as they come up, so you don't miss anything.
Yeah. Alrighty. Thank you so much. What up, Bo? Bye.
What up?